Okay, so now that everyone knows about the incredible placebo effect, we are going to analyze the reading. Um, I am going to be the first person to read, so just listen to the pronunciation, and then I'm going to ask anyone to explain paragraph 1. Then someone else is going to read paragraph 2, and someone else is going to explain, like that, okay? If you have any options or any opinions, or you think there is information missing or relevant information missing from the person that explains the paragraph, you can speak. And if you do speak, you will have your extra point. Understand?
Yes.
Okay.
Sure.
No, repeat for me, please.
So one person reads,
Yeah,
the other person explains.
yeah.
And if there is more relevant information that we have to speak, somebody else can speak, and that person will have an extra point. Okay?
Siempre a competencia, ¿verdad?
Okay. So here we go.
No me parece.
Paragraph number 1, the placebo effect. The placebo effect refers to an improvement in symptoms as a result of medical treatment with an inactive substance like a sugar pill, or even a staged medical procedure such as a surgery. In other words, a patient recovers even though there has been no genuine medical intervention. Instead, the effect is generally attributed to the patient's belief in the effectiveness of the treatment, which in turn meditates the healing of the relevant physical symptoms. Documented cases of the placebo effect have been reported since the early 20th century. However, only recently has neuroscience been able to demonstrate observable evidence of real-time brain changes in relation to the administration of a placebo. So, Angie, give me a number.
Number 4.
4. 1, 2, 3. Carla.
Ay, no, perdón.
Ya digo que siempre me toca a mí.
So, what did you understand of paragraph number 1?
I understand the paragraph one that the placebo effect is that it's improvement of system for ¿cómo diría? Disfrazar.
To cover up.
Cover up that the fakes with fake feel to improve our salute because it's based of neuroscience that to ¿cómo digo engañar?
I just forgot the word. Betray. No, it's not betray. Betray is like boyfriend, girlfriend.
Fake.
Fake.
That fake their brain that the patients.
Okay. There was, yeah.
In addition about the argument of my partner, in the last part of this paragraph, say about that this effect is reported since the early 20th century. But recently, a neuroscience demonstrate evidence in the real time of the brain change into relation of the administration these pills or placebo.
Okay. Yes. Very good. Thank you so much.
I have more information according Peter's.
Okay, Michael, tell me what you have.
Okay, teacher. Sometimes a person can have a response to a placebo. The response can be positive or negative. For instance, the person's symptoms may improve or the person may have that appears to be side effects. For example, depression, pains, sleep disorders, or irritable bowel syndrome, or menopause. Menopause?
Menopause. Menopause.
Yes, teacher.
Okay, interesting. That's relevant information. Not mentioned in the paragraph, but yes, it is relevant information. Thank you so much for that. Anybody else? I have two questions. I have two questions. What does the text mean by an inactive substance? What is an inactive substance? Does anyone want to mention or give me or give a
I
definition?
I
Okay.
don't know if I'm okay, but I try. It's like don't working, not work and not made any function in your system, immunologic system or in your body.
Okay, okay, yeah, yeah. It's something that doesn't make any effect. It doesn't have any effect in the immunological system. Yeah. Okay, okay, okay. Thank you. That's pretty good. And the other question is, what do you understand by a staged medical procedure? What do you think the meaning is? Can someone help me up with that definition?
Actuación.
In English, Josench. What do you mean by staged medical procedure? Yes, stage is acted, yeah.
You can't level up or something like that.
Okay. Okay. What does the rest say? What did you understand? Jasmine, did you understand?
Not really.
Josench, can you explain a little bit better?
I don't remember you good.
So, anyone else? Nicholas, maybe you?
Uh, it it means that it's something that imitated, like you're acting it, and this way you can fool the person, and he will think that you actually made an intervention using chemicals and these things. So it means imitating, like acting.
Uh-huh. Very good. Yeah, it's like acting, but it's like not real. Medical procedures can be like an operation, or something surgical. So they open and they close, and nothing else.
Okay, so it's a fake or something.
Yeah, it's something like fake medical procedure. Okay, interesting. Thank you so much. Giancarlos, you've been quite silent in this one. So Giancarlos, can you please read paragraph number 2?
Okay, teacher. One of the most dramatic examples of the placebo effect involves a study of patients with acute arthritic knee pain. In an effort to determine which aspects of knee surgery were most effective, Dr. Bruce Moseley, an American surgeon, conducted a controlled experiment involving 3 groups. In the first group, surgery includes saving of thin layers of the damaged cartilage. In the second group, the doctor flushed out the knee joint and disposed of the unhealthy tissue. In the third group, he simulated surgery by anesthetizing the patient and making the necessary incisions. However, no actual knee surgery was performed. In fact, the patients were not informed until a full 2 years afterwards that their operations were staged.
Okay, thank you so much. Just these 3 little words in pronunciation so everyone can take in mind. Patient, okay, we have patient. And the verbs controlled and performed are in ones. It's different than in Spanish. Controlled, performed. Just one little soft D at the end, okay? Thank you so much, then, Carlos. Nice reading. Who wants to speak about this? Who wants to explain this one? Someone who hasn't spoken. So maybe Nelson, maybe Angie, or maybe Oscar. One of the three. Can you give me an explanation of paragraph number 2? Don't be shy. Don't fight to answer. So, Oscar.
Okay. The second paragraph say that in an extreme case of placebo effect is like when you have a problem of knee and the Dr. Bruce Mosley studied the need to do a good surgery to keep in a good stage the knee. So he never operated the knee, just simulate the operation and give the patient to fake medicine. And in the last part of the paragraph say that the patient never are informed that the surgery never happened.
Okay.
So yes, in the 2 years after the stage operation, the patient will be informed that the surgery was simulated.
Okay, yeah. So paragraph 2, it does speak about actually an experiment, and it was divided in 3 groups. So the third group, yes, you mentioned well that it was staged and they weren't mentioned until 2 years later. What about the other 2 groups? What happened with the other 2 groups? Can somebody else help me out? Thank you, Oscar. Good. Because there were 3 groups of people. Group number 3, it was staged, it was fake. But what about group number 1 and group number 2? What do you think? Or what does it say? Anyone can speak. Don't fight. I know everyone wants to talk. Give me a number, Oscar. Give me a number.
1.
Number 1 is Angie.
Ay, no.
Yeah.
Ay, no, teacher, estoy triste.
Why? The boyfriends?
No.
Oh, God. No. So, the first group of people. What happened to the first group of people? What did they do? Or what did Dr. Mosley do? Or Mosley?
Ay, teacher. The next teacher, please. Por favor.
Does somebody want to save Angie? If nobody wants to save Angie, Angie will have to speak. Does Angie have a great friend, a good friend that wants to help?
Here, teacher.
Okay. So Carla is going to try to save Angie. Let's see.
Estamos tristes las dos.
No, teacher, está bien fea la situación.
Come on, Carla. Explain.
A ver, dígame, teacher.
What did they do with the first group of people and the second group of people with the knee problem? What did this doctor do?
And the unnecessary surgery?
He did a surgery in the 2 groups.
Yes,
Yeah? Or in the 3 groups?
and no. And maybe
No.
that the second and third is unnecessary surgery. And that includes surgery.
Oh, are you sure? So group number, okay, I'm just gonna,
The
yeah.
first experiment, the first group have a real surgery, I think.
Okay, what about
The
the second
first
group?
not have surgery, and the second, I don't know, I'm not sure. No, the second not. The doctor just put water. I don't know how to say the verb enjuagar. Put water in the and retiro. Oh, I don't know how to say that. But that, so the first is a real surgery, the second just remove and put water, and the third is like a fake.
Okay, I guess you're saying that put water because of the verb flash. But flash is a verb. But what is the phrasal verb? Phrasal verb.
Okay, the phrasal verb.
Flash out. What's flash out?
Tenía que ser un
Phrasal verb. Yeah, watch out, watch out.
The articulation of the knee.
So what did he do?
The doctor flash out. How do you say flash out the knee?
Okay.
And remove the bad the layers of the let me see, and remove the bad tissue.
Okay.
The unhealthy tissue.
Yeah, he did it with liquid.
Yes, teacher.
Okay, great. So basically, yes. Group number one, he did and basically a surgery. Not too hard, but it was a surgery. He just took out a thin layer of the knee. The second group, he flushed out the knee like completely, and he took disposed the unhealthy tissue. He like took away all the unhealthy tissue. And group number three, as Oscar mentioned, he just opened. I know he just put some anesthetizing thing and like made some incisions to say he did something and nothing else. So what do you think were the results? What were the results? Nelson, you've been quite silent. What do you think were the results? Which knee was better after the 2 years, or which one was worse, or all were bad, or were good? What do you think?
The results don't say them. Later 2 years, later 3 years, where the patient, ¿cómo diría? Recién se enteró.
They just heard of the results, so they were told 2 years later. Yes, you're right. But what do you think? What do you think personally? What do you think happened to the patients? Which group was better? Group 1, 2, or 3? Which one was better and why? Better.
Excellent pregunta.
Question.
I think the better group is 1 for me.
Okay. Why?
Because in this group simulate the surgery in the patient. And the patient being in this surgery and engaña su cerebro. ¿Cómo se llama?
Play with his mind. Played with his mind.
Play with his mind. These people feel better.
Okay, so you will go actually to group number 3, I guess. Nicholas, what about you? What do you think were the results?
I mean, I just read the results. So.
Oh, come on. So before you explain the results, because you already read, let's leave someone else read paragraph number 3. Let it be Jasmine. You've been quite silent lately. Paragraph 3, please read super fast, like flash.
Okay. The results were staggering. While repeat.
Sorry, it's staggering.
Staggering.
Staggering. Okay. Amazing.
Staggering. While knee pain for all three groups diminished. Sorry. Diminished significantly. There was no difference in the level of pain decrease for any one group over another. Rather, the uniform results seemed to be mediated by the placebo effect, or the patients believe in the benefit of the surgical procedure. I don't know, teacher.
Procedure.
Okay. As one of the placebo patients, Tim Perez was later quoted saying, in this world, anything is possible when you put your mind to it. I know that your mind can work miracles, but Perez, who previously could only get around with the aid of a cane, is now able to shoot basket with his grandchildren.
Okay, yes, thank you so much. Just this word in pronunciation, miracles. Miracles.
Miracle. Es que sonaba como Miraculous. O sea, de la serie, me confundí.
Okay.
Si alguien la viste, entiende la diferencia.
Okay. The miracles of the Virgin of Guadalupe.
No, los Miraculous de Ladybug.
No, but the meaning of miracles, el significado de miracles, is like miracles of the Virgin of Guadalupe.
Okay.
There you go. So, Nicholas, what do you have for us? Tell us. Give us the summary.
So after 2 years, the knee pain for all the groups diminished, and there was no difference in the level of pain decrease. And this was explained by the placebo effect and the belief in the benefit of the surgical procedure. And well, there was a quote of a man called Tim Perez, who said that anything is possible if you put your mind to it, and that's it.
Okay, since you have more relation with the power of mind, do you think it's possible with many types of surgical procedures that have to be done, or is it just because it's a knee surgery?
Well, not long ago, I read about an example of this, and there was a man who couldn't have children with his couple, so they were trying like for so long. So they went to the doctor, who was a friend of him. Okay. So that friend told him, well, I can help you. I have a new pill, which is the newest one in the market. It's the best. Okay. It does not fail. So he took that treatment, the men that couldn't have children, and eventually her wife was pregnant. Oh, wow. And when he made the tests of the sperm and those things, they were right. In the past, they were not right. There were just a few, but after all that happened, he could have his children. So yeah, it has to do a lot with mind and this.
Okay. Yeah, so maybe it's better to go to psychologist for a long time. For a long time before we get old. Like that, we will get there healthier, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me know when you graduate. Okay, you're gonna graduate in how much time?
In 2 years, no, 2 years. Okay. More than that.
So you will have a client in around 5 years. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you so much, Nicholas. Let's go with paragraph number 4. Let's read it. Let's start with you, Oscar. Oscar, can you please read paragraph 4?
Okay.
Yep.
Research on the placebo effect has been conducted for the other diseases and afflictions, including asthma, Parkinson's disease, pain, and depression. Depression in particular has been an area of major interest. This is due to both the recent rise in the use of antidepressants and the claim by critics that the 9.5 billion industry in the US alone is making a huge profit from fields that are not more effective than placebos. In one study of University of Connecticut, psychology professor used the Freedom of Information Act to obtain hard data regarding clinical trials of the six major antidepressants. He found that in over half of these trials, the placebo was equally effective in treating the disease. Furthermore, he concluded that approximately 80% of the effectiveness of antidepressant was in reality due to the placebo effect.
Okay, thank you so much. Very good pronunciation. These little two words to keep in mind: profit, profit, and trials. Okay, profit and trials. Very
Okay.
good. Thank you so much, Oscar. Who wants to explain paragraph number 4? What about Astrid? Astrid, you've been silent for the past 5 minutes. That's weird. So, tell me.
Okay. Okay. I understand that in the first part of the paragraph say about that the placebo effect have other disease and afflictions like asthma, Parkinson, and depression. And depression in particular because the person says that the placebo it could be the same effect of the antidepressants, the pills of antidepressants. So in the last part, the university and the psychology professor uses say about that he found that over half of these trials to placebo was equally effective in treating the disease. So approximately 80% of the effectiveness of antidepressant was really due the placebo effect.
Okay, yeah, there you go. So now we can sell sugar pills and be in the $9.6 billion industry. Interesting. That's a nice business idea for anyone that wants to do some money out there.
I'm going to think industry.
Okay, okay, thank you so much. Let's go directly to the next paragraph because timing is up. Timing is gonna catch us. It's our heels. So, Nelson, you've been quite silent. Paragraph 5, like flash.
Yep. Neurosciences now have the technology to determine the brain mechanisms responsible for the placebo effect. Through brain imaging techniques, they can record a series of events triggered by the anticipation of the specific result, such as a relief of symptoms. In studies related to the evaluation of pain, scientists have discovered that when the placebo painkiller is administered, the body's own innate pain relief center or endogenous opioid system release brain chemicals that eases the pain. In research related to Parkinson's disease, in which dopamine deficiency is a major factor, patients release dopamine upon ingesting a placebo, while the placebo effect for depression is not entirely understood. There is not brain activity in the form of electrical and metabolic chains in the same relation target by selecting serotonin reuptake inhib- inhibitors, a type of antidepressant drugs.
Okay, okay, thank you so much. Just these three words in pronunciation. We have technique, technique, uh, trigger, trigger, and entirely, okay? Entirely. Um, can someone give me a quick explanation of paragraph number 5? Carla, are you happy already? Are you good now? Or are you still sad?
Hi, teacher. um, that okay, teacher. I understand that the neuroscientists say that the bo- the body on discovering that the placebo for the ¿cómo digo? The create endogenous opioid system that increase chemicals that is major effector in patients relates with dopamine, and so the placebo effect for depression is not entirely understand, and so there is a type of is a tip for como digo for una incógnita for incognito for that determine the responsible mechanism. Thank you.
Okay, okay. So basically the brain has the solution, or that's what neuroscientists say. And the last paragraph, I'm going to read it. Based upon the neuroscientific evidence, a substantial number of researchers conclude that the body has an innate healing capacity that can be invoked through presumed medical intervention. The placebo effect is strong medicine, which the medical community has only now begun to take seriously. Up until this point, doctors have invested much of their therapeutic effort in drugs and surgery. While this may be an effective way to increase income for medical what? What does it say?
Dígalo, teacher, dígalo.
Practitioners. I don't know what medical practitioners are. And pharmaceutical companies, I guess medics, one has to question whether more energy should be allocated to exploring the clearly less invasive biological of belief. Who wants to give me the conclusion? Josench has been quite silent. Is Josench still here? No, he ain't here. So let's end up with, I don't know, who wants to speak? Nicholas has been quite silent for the past 2 minutes, so Nicholas, help us with the conclusion.
Okay. So scientists conclude that the body has an innate healing capacity, and this can come as a result of this presumed medical intervention. That's the summary.
Well, in short words, it is. It is basically the summary. So I hope you understood the placebo effect, because all week, the next week, all week, we are going to speak about that and some interesting things that our brain does. There might be some relation with some text we have seen in the past. So for the next class on Monday, everyone, the only thing you're going to do is bring an example, a real example, kind of crazy, of the placebo effect in any patient of any kind. It can be from cancer to just a headache or just feeling sick. ano, or maybe a family member. It depends on you. But each one of you give me an example other than the ones we mentioned in this class of the placebo effect, okay?
Like my presentation, the crazy sex reproduction.
Yeah, something like that. But not a long presentation. It's just speaking, so it's gonna be really, really short. Yeah. So you're gonna come with examples. So something
Just
like
speaking.
just speaking. You're just speaking. No presentations or stuff.
Okay.
And I think there was one more group who didn't give the exposition. I think that's Oscar's group, right?
Yeah.
Yes, happy.
Yeah. Oscar, Jasmine, and who else? Who's the third person?
Camila.
And Camila. Okay, so since Camila didn't come, Oscar had some problems, and Jasmine, I think you also had problems with the internet. You're going to give your exposition on Monday, okay? Sounds good?
Okay.
Okay, so if we have no more questions, great. If you do have questions, I'll see you in the WhatsApp group, okay? Yeah, okay. So have a great weekend, and I see you soon. If you want to come on Monday to class, you can come here.
Bye, teacher.
Bye-bye. Bye, be good. Everyone be good.
Bye.
Bye. Take care. Put on the masks and all that things, you know? And I will upload this class to YouTube. Very good class. Congratulations.